Good evening, my name is Garrett, and welcome to The Last Call. Tonight's final drink is from Basil Hayden. This is their malted rye whiskey, coming in at a 40% ABV. No official age statement on the bottle. So, first of all, you may or may not know this, Basil Hayden is actually owned and operated basically the side brand of Jim Beam. And they do a lot of unique things with the Basil Hayden lineup. From their dark rye, which is like a really unique blend of things, to their red wine cask finish, their subtle smoke, which all those I really kind of enjoyed. Though, they get a lot of criticism because they stick at the 40% ABV, and a lot of times they are overpriced for what they're doing. Here in 2023, they decided to release a 100% malted rye, which is Kentucky malted rye, which is really cool. I've been in a rye mood, and I thought, why the heck not? I found it at a somewhat decent price. I'm interested to see how it comes across, though. So as always, we're going to be trying it two different ways. First way, neat, no ice, no water. Second, we'll just add a drop of water, see if anything changes up. And as always, make sure you like the video, subscribe to the channel, hang around for a bit. If you're interested in some of the other Basil Hayden reviews, they'll be linked up above and down below, so you can check them out after the video. The funny thing is, like, their standard Basil Hayden, not a fan of. But the finishings, I've actually really enjoyed. And the red wine cask finish, might be my second favorite, because I really enjoyed the subtle smoke. But seeing that they did 100% malted rye, I'm like, I gotta give it a try. I gotta give it credit. I do all sorts of weird casks all the time, or unique grains, and I can't pass it up. I'm glutton for punishment, I guess. Beautiful color on there, I'll give it that. Very light golden. Yeah. All right, let's go for notes. I mean, that's great. It's floral, it's rye. Like, that is malted rye. The rye spice in here is soft and sweet. A little bit of oak, vanilla, caramel. But that rye spice in there is really nice. It's not as prominent as I would like, but it's only 40% ABV, so I can't expect a lot, and I'll probably criticize that at the end of this. But that malted rye in there, that's really nice. It's sweet, it's spicy, and it's got this bit of chocolate going on, almost like a milk chocolate, or maybe a cocoa powder. Like a very, I'm going to use the word like Swiss Miss, a very cheap, inexpensive cocoa powder. So it's not really prominent, but it's kind of got a nice sweetness to it. I like the spice, and I like the oak layers going on. All right, let's go for a taste. Taste mimics the nose pretty close. Floral. Get that nice light rye spice going on in here. It's actually growing a bit on the palate here for me. That chocolate note is coming across in the taste. That is, I really like that. It's sweet, but the rye maltedness going on is very, very prominent. I wouldn't quite say rye bread, but it's close. As I keep sipping it more and more, I'm getting more of that rye bread, but it's not like a big, prominent, slap you with a loaf of bread, rye bread. Kind of like the some 95.5 ryes can be, is more on the younger rye end of MGP stuff. It's sweet, but overall, I gotta give that credit. It's got a lot more character to it than I was expecting. Now again, I still feel like 40% is doing it a disservice, but the flavor it's bringing across at 40% gets a thumbs up. Because it is thin. There's no ABV, nothing harsh, no off notes on the nose or the taste. It just drinks very thin, which again, I was expecting. But once you get past that, the subtle oak, the spices, the maltedness of that rye, the rye bread note coming through, it is just placed together really stinking well. I love the floralness going on. The spices there, it's exactly what you want a malted rye to be. But if they proofed it up a little bit more, this would be a knockout of the park. And that pisses me off because it's really good at 40%. So I can only imagine what like 45% would be. Just bump it up that 5 extra proof points, and I think you would have a beautiful malted rye. Because you're like tripping, you're on a track and you're running. In that 4th turn, you tripped. And it's because you proofed it too low. But that's good. I still like it. I'm going to say that much. I really do like that. I'm not going to discredit it for that. All right. Let's add just a little drop of water. See what changes up here. Don't want to add too much because it's already at 40%, so we're proving it down less than 40%. We're going to see if we can find anything else. You never know. We'll see. Might help us find additional notes. Might make it go very mute. Only one way to find out. Let's go for notes. Comparatively close, but the ABV does show up a bit more on the water version. Just a little bit more. The rye spice is pulled back. You don't get quite as much floral. I would say, if anything, it's like 20% dialed back compared to this neat version. This is feeling more robust now, and it's kind of funny to say that. But the rye spice is really popping well. That malted, it just comes across beautiful of this spicy yet such a fragrant rye. But I'll give that credit. With that little drop of water, it actually holds up. Let's see how the taste goes. You know what? I'm going to go back to the neat version. We're just going to ignore that one. Actually, it's not bad. The chocolate notes actually show up a little bit more. It's like a milk chocolate. It's got kind of a dustiness to it. The rye spice is there, but it's got a weird bitterness here at the end. It's not super strong, but there is on like the right side of my tongue, I'm getting a bitterness coming through there, and I'm not a big fan of that. Let's go back to the neat one. As I keep sipping on this, I'm really digging this bottle. Man. And again, I just get more angry because I'm like, let's proof it up a bit more. I'm getting a little bit of almost a lemony zest going on here, or like a citrus zest going on now. As always, it doesn't matter what you drink or how you drink it. As long as you enjoy it, I'd keep this one neat personally. I just think adding that drop of water, if you put it on the rocks, might make it go a little too mute, maybe a little bitter for you. But you do you. All right, let's talk about market price. Because we all know market price is market price, and it's always going to vary. So, I actually picked this up for $55 at Total Wine. And what I'm seeing it out here in Indiana usually is about $60 to $62. Now, I do find a few locations charging $70 for this. It ain't worth $70. To be honest, $55 is about the top of my dollar even. There's some beautiful malted rye whiskeys out there. Now, not saying this is bad. And I think that's where my arguments start coming into play. The floral, the chocolate notes, the malted rye coming through, the rye bread coming through is beautifully done. It's soft. I'll be honest, this whiskey is probably made for somebody that is looking to get into rye whiskey, but doesn't like the herbal, medicinal, even dill notes that rye can bring out. I think it's good. The floral, the sweet, the malted rye, and that chocolate note plays together very, very well. And I gotta give it credit for that. I love Basil Hayden trying unique things. I'm just always going to criticize it for that proof point. Bump it up a few more points. Give us the bottle that this thing is begging to be. And that's disappointing on that. So yeah, there you have it, folks. Basil Hayden's Malted Rye Whiskey. If you have any questions about the bottle itself, let me know down in the comment sections below. I will do my best to answer it. And if you have any specific spirits I should go looking for, also let me know down below. I love doing these reviews and sharing with you the experience at home. And as always, may your last drink of the night be the best one.
You know, and I really like it might